Jay Thomas Morning Blend. We're back at it again. The three of us, Tony, Janelle, me, James Thomas. This time, it looks like I'm the only one wearing my Elvis shirt. So,
I got the hat.
and hat, there's the hat. Okay. Oh, man. We're going to talk about this fantastic movie, Elvis, with directed by Baz Luhrmann, starring Austin Butler as Elvis. And an unrecognizable Tom Hanks as the Colonel. So we started with Janelle. Well, actually started with Tony last time. So Janelle, your turn. We're going to start with you on Elvis.
I thought it was great. I was kind of a little nervous with it being a Baz Luhrmann movie. I thought it would be too much of a spectacle. I was pleasantly surprised to find out that they kind of understood that Elvis himself was already a spectacle. They didn't need to make it more of a spectacle on top of that. I thought some of the cinematography as far as shooting Tom Hanks, making him the kind of the evil villain in the background behind the curtain with the lighting and such. I think it was framed perfectly. I think it really brought home kind of what the actual theme of the movie was. You didn't need the over the top villain with the twisty mustache. He was the villain, already kind of, I just thought it was great. Like I said, like it had him like lurking in the background, like the dark shadows and him looking, squirrely, and it worked. I think Austin Butler, him knowing he sang the early young Elvis stuff, and they kind of, morphed him with the older later, his speaking voice. I thought he did an excellent job. I thought it was excellent.
Tony?
I'll continue the Austin Butler train. I mean, he just disappears. He essentially resurrected the king. Something I'm sure that everyone, when this movie came up, was like, there's no one that could do this. I don't think there's anyone else. The cheekbones, the cadence of his voice, as you said, the voice when he's singing early on, and then when they blended it later on, it's just truly phenomenal. As we said, the Baz Luhrmann film, dizzying, dazzling at times. He does have his touch there, but it's very entrancing. It found it impossible to look away. It was long, very long film, about almost 2 hours and 40 minutes, but you don't really feel it. So for the people that hate the long movies, it's a bit, you want to, go to the bathroom before, but it's very much worth it. I would definitely call this one the best musical biopic since Walk the Line.
I have to agree with both of you. I was just totally surprised with the movie. I didn't know what to expect. I learned a few things about Elvis that I didn't know, which was very, very interesting. Believe it, I don't know if you guys felt the same thing I did, but towards the end of the movie, I was just a little tearful at the way he was being treated and handled by the Colonel. That was just, it just bothered me a little bit. I have to agree with you. It is an unbelievable, tremendous, thoughtful, heartful musical movie. And my prediction is this, and I'm gonna put it out there. I think right now it's one of the best films of the year. I think it will get nominated. Of course, Tom will get nominated. Austin will get nominated. Baz will get nominated. It's just, and you're talking about it, the length of the movie. You're going to hold that pee, folks. You're going to hold it. You're going to want to sit there, just like we did with Tom Cruise for Top Gun. You're going to hold that pee because it's just going to bring you in, and you're going to actually live along with Elvis. You're going to feel everything that Elvis felt. And I'll be the first to say 5 out of 5 Mickeys plus. Again, right now, so far, the best film of the year. Undeniable. Tony, what do you think?
I'm gonna go 4.5 out of 5. Very much enjoyed it. I can't say it's the best. There are a few other ones there for me so far this year, but hey, film is subjective. But as someone who was born long after Elvis passed, I learned so much, and in a way, being educational, of course, but you didn't feel like it was getting crammed down your throat. You learned to care for the character. You learned to care for his family. You got the background of what made Elvis Elvis, his voice, his tone, his signature moves. It's It's definitely worth a watch. I can't recommend it enough.
Janelle?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with 4 out of 5 too. I think it hit everything almost perfectly. Like I said, even though it was 2.5 hours long, I don't think I checked my watch until I think there was only about a half an hour left before I was like, well, let's see where we're at. And for it to get to that point, I think that really says something about how quick the movie feels like it goes. That you really kind of don't want to tear your eyes from the screen. It's very immersive. I think it did what it needed to do for Elvis. It showed you that I think a lot of, you start to understand that a lot of sometimes maybe these famous musicians and pop stars were kind of puppets of their time to who was managing them. I mean, even to this day, you get still the same things go on with money management and managers and, drugs and getting them out on stage to make the money. So yeah, I think it was entertaining and kind of eye-opening at the same time. Yeah. So
Definitely. I don't know if you guys heard me. I don't know. I was the only one. I made a kind of a yelp noise at a particular scene. You remember the scene where he's on television and the senator's house and his daughters are watching it. And then of course, swooning over Elvis. And the senator walks over and get that off my TV. Well, the reason why I yelped was it took me all the way back. I was in 4th grade. There were only 3 stations. First time Elvis movie on TV, black and white. Yes, black and white. My dad came through the door as the movie was starting and said this same exact thing. Get that off and turn the TV off. So that was like life experience all over again. But it was another reason why my dad did it, which actually right now is totally false. The myth that Elvis said what he said about blacks, totally false. And what's interesting is that movie brings it out. Tony, Janelle's on vacation. Tony's at work. And of course, today is Juneteenth celebration. I want to thank you again for joining us and talking about the brand new movie, Elvis. I'm not quite sure, Tony, if you're going to be at Black Phone. Janelle, if you're not, that's okay. We'll get it done anyway, because we got many more movies to go. It's just the mid-year, and we've got a ton of stuff to go. And guess what? Eventually, we can start talking about Oscars. Eventually. So
I'll be shocked if Austin Butler doesn't get himself a nomination.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks again. Thanks for joining us on Morning Blend.